Good evening, everyone. It's Jazz back with the West Ham Irons channel. Episode 1, or should we call it Series 1 of a new show called West Ham Transfer Talk Show. It's that sort of month in the season. It's kind of transfers and that kind of thing and rumours everywhere, every day. I don't know how many players we get linked with. And it's the usual kind of thing, really. Fans talking to each other, trying to work out if the rumours are true or not, who they will either will sign, if they were the manager, really. So I thought we'd do a show every sort of 2-3 days and kind of regroup with different sort of channel members and kind of see what our views are, really. Who do they really want? First of all, I mean, we'll talk about sort of what we think we need, who do we want to buy, which rumours we think are going to be true, and that kind of thing, really. And with me, I've got regulars. I've got Mitch. How you doing, mate?
All good, thanks, Shez. All good.
Yeah. You had a good day today?
Nah, shit day. Pretty shit day. Long
Yeah.
day.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah. I think going back to work after Christmas is always a bit difficult. I mean, I had a good few days off and it was hard adjusting again, really. So I hope it gets better for you, mate. I mean, tomorrow's Friday. That's a good day, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Week's flown by, actually. It's been quite a quick week, so yeah, it's a good thing. But I'm on double shift tomorrow, so...
Oh, double bubble.
Killer.
And I've got Curtis with me, known as Ginger Andy Carroll. How you doing, sir? You had a good day today?
It started off good and then went a bit sour. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I have no words. I have no words, to be fair. But I'm looking forward to this new little series that you've got.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think we spoke about it, and you had a good idea as well to kind of get a transfer talk show up and running. And Matt, what are you doing, mate?
Hey there, mate. Few technical issues here, but back
on.
Yeah.
In out.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Well, okay.
Were you in the school dining hall or something?
Bit echoing, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit echoing? Oh, sorry, mate. I'll see if I can fix that.
That's the teacher's whiteboard behind him.
Yeah.
I do actually work in education, so yeah, it's I'm in a class.
That's all good.
I'm in my office at work.
Brilliant, Matt. You had a good week.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Brilliant. Apart from just a cold, just stuck all congested and everything. But luckily, it's not COVID, so I can't complain. But it seems like half the world's got COVID right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Matt, what's the COVID situation like over there?
Terrible, but very badly reported. So, just.
I was going to say we've heard very little about Mexico's COVID situation. To be fair.
Yeah, I was in the US for 10 days in San Antonio, and it's terrible. I mean, the US is absolutely awful with cases right now. But touch wood, keeping safe. But yeah, Mexico is pretty bad, to be honest. But people do take it quite seriously here, still with a lot of mandatory face masks to use everywhere and everything. Whether or not they work, I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? But I mean, trying to stay safe. Just trying to stay safe.
What's everyone's feelings on Djokovic, the tennis star? What's going on with him in Australia? I don't know if any of you have been following what's been going on.
Just saw that.
I think it's a very bad stunt. But I accept that if that's their policies over in Australia, then fair dues. But if he chooses not to have a vaccine, or he chooses not to provide reasons or proof for exemption, that's down to him. But now he's got to take it on the chin that he could not feature in the Australian Open, and that's on him as well.
He's had slap a kid for being naughty.
Right,
No, I was trying to see if I could remove the echo a bit by doing so, but I don't know. Is it that bad, the echo?
No,
it's not too bad.
That's all right.
It's not too bad, no.
It's all right. Yeah, that's fine. No,
it sounds like you're in a big room, like a massive fucking dining room or something.
Or you're falling down a well, mate, somewhere. Yeah. Mexican cartel have got to you. I don't know.
It's brought in from like a little hostage room.
But anyway, Matt, everyone, thank you for coming. What I was mentioning, Matt, when you're doing your hokey cokey was it's the first show I'm talking about the West Ham transfer talk show. You got me the giggle. That's what it's all about. Yeah, so we just wanted to talk about the rumours out there, and especially it's a good idea from sort of the Ginger Girl.
What?
You know what? I'm thinking when I get home now, I need to put on the hokey cokey and do it when I get home. Otherwise, it's going to piss me off. I've not done that for years.
It's all the drama and all the beauty of going live, isn't it, everyone?
I would have
hokey cokey.
You know, I was actually because I'm in Latin America. I was actually doing the Macarena, not the hokey cokey.
Oh man.
Ah, well, that's it. If you start seeing his arms flying about now, you know what he's doing.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, what we're going to do is obviously go to each one of you and start off with firstly, sort of what do we need without referring to any players? Perhaps talk about positions. So we can start off with you, Curtis, in terms of what you think we need, and then later on we'll follow on. We'll move on to rumours, and then finally we'll move on to what you think we need in terms of personal names and players. So Curtis, if you want to kick off and let us know in terms of positions, what do we need, and certainly on top of that, if you want to sell anyone as well, mate. Yeah.
Well, I think it's no secret that we need a striker. We have done for the past 3 years, possibly, since we started getting rid of Andy Carroll and Chicharito all at once. We needed backup then, and now we are in dire straits, especially since we sold our only recognised striker at the club a year ago in last year's January transfer. With the injuries in defence, we're going to need to bolster that majorly because we've leaked goals like a sinking ship. So definitely a centre half, maybe a left back, and I would say a playmaker and a striker.
Okay, and would you? And what about in terms of perhaps selling someone this window to generate some income? Anyone in mind?
Yes, there is, but now is not the time because we've just got into Europe. Well, we got into Europe last season, back end of last season. We're in Europe still now, going into the new year. We need to bolster our squad. All we've done for the last few years is sell more than what we've got in, which is counterproductive, especially with how thin our squad is and especially with the injuries that we've got in a minute. And we need more bodies in. We don't need to let anyone else go. Even the likes of Yarmolenko, who's sort of splitting the fan base at the minute, I still wouldn't sell him. I still wouldn't sell him because he's backup that we could need. He might not be in form. He might not be the greatest. He might have a bad attitude or whatever, for whatever reason. We still need players at the minute. So I think it's bad PR if we end up selling. Like what we did with Grady Diangana, we made up a situation.
Would you not sell anyone then?
Not yet. There is players that I'd like to sell, don't get me wrong, but I don't think now is the time. Unless we start, if we have a miraculous January transfer where we get in 5-6 people, quality people, in the positions that we need, then I would start thinking about letting players go like Yarmolenko, move him on because he probably doesn't want to be at the club. And if he doesn't, then farewell. And then he could possibly get his dream move to go back with Andrei Shevchenko in Italy.
I mean, I might have missed in the giggles quickly, but Curtis, if you had sort of, for example, in order of what we need first, really, in terms of say 3 positions, which is the most important, you think?
Striker.
And
we've
second?
not got one. It's a toss up between centre back and left back.
Okay, so those 3 will cover it, won't it? Interesting.
Yeah, I would probably, because of the situation we've got now, we've got 2 centre halves that can do a job. That some would disagree and argue, but I would say Arthur Masuaku at the minute is just not cutting it for a left back. He's not a left back. He cannot defend. So I would probably say striker first, and then left back, and then very, very close centre back.
Okay. Mitch,
I agree. I think you're bang on.
I'll come over to you, Mitch, and before you start, got a comment from a regular Steve. Sell Yarmo and Arthur. What do you think about that comment, mate, Mitch? Selling Yarmolenko and
I
Masuaku.
would. It's. I think now that the Europa League games are getting to a knockout stage, we need to be playing first team players. So yeah, I think if it does free up the wage budget and does help with sales a bit more, then yeah, I think I'd get rid of Yarmo and Arthur straight away. Arthur's not good enough anymore. He's not good. He's not even good as a winger. Like people say, oh, he's better as a winger. He may be slightly better as a winger, but I don't think he can even attack anymore. I don't think he's even like got that ability. His crossing stinks as shit. He's just not good. And Yarmolenko is just an absolute waste of space, unfortunately. He's got his fitness levels are shocking. Like he can't run.
I agree with you. I think Masuaku, when he's certainly defending, I'm very nervous. So, again, same question, Mitch. What do we need, mate, in terms of preference, really? From what we need the most.
Yeah. I think Curtis was bang on there. I think striker's the main thing. Because besides from the last couple of games, before that, when we had like a 10-game period of just really struggling to score and create goals, and you know, I was actually saying, even though obviously we do need defenders, but urgently, I still thought the attackers weren't doing enough either. And for me, the fact that we've only got one striker at the club who ain't doing it at the moment, fair play, he's done slightly better the last couple of games, but he just needs competition, and not just competition. He needs a player that's just better than him. To be honest, like if we really want to be serious and push on next season, or even towards the second half of this season, actually establish ourselves as maybe a top 6, top 8 club every season, we need a better striker because Antonio is just so inconsistent each season for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Matt, I'm just going to unmute you, sir. Again, question what Steve asked: would you sell Yarmolenko or Masuaku in this window?
I'd only sell them if you're going to sell them both, you probably free up about 150 grand in wages. I mean, I think they said that Yarmolenko's on 115 or 110, and I can't imagine Masuaku's on more than 40 grand. Yeah. So you probably get 115 wages. You wouldn't really get much of a transfer fee for either of them. So I mean, with all the COVID situation that's going on, would it really be worth it? Not really. I don't think it would be worth it, really. I think it would be maybe it come back to bite us in the ass. When it comes to who we need for the team, I think we've been saying it for years, all of us, striker and left back are fundamental. And now we just add centre back to the mix. I mean, I agree with both of you guys there. I mean, an attacking midfield or someone attacking would be nice, but we've got to be realistic. It's January, prices are elevated, options are limited. Some clubs might be looking to ship out a couple of guys who are on 6 months left on their contract, like a Lingard situation, trying to earn a little bit of cash. But I mean, if we're going to be realistic and know West Ham, I think we can be happy if we actually concrete 2 solid signings, to be honest. I mean, if we could get in a striker and a left back, I'd be happy if we could get him free with a centre back. Do I think we should do more? Without a doubt. But I just don't think, even though we've had the money coming from Kretinsky, I don't think he'll come in straight away and throw the money around. And I really do think that if we can get those 2 or 3 positions sorted out, we are going to strengthen ourselves for this really tough second half of the year, and especially with so much uncertainty that we're seeing now with the COVID situation, we could be in situations where we're going to be playing 3 games in a week or a possible another suspension of the league. Anything could happen. So I think that's why maybe keeping Arthur and Yarmolenko just around. And it's great to see. Another thing that we can talk about is the bringing back Odubeku, bringing back Coventry, bringing back Anang, bringing back a lot of different players from loan, having their loans cancelled. Maybe that's going to add some extra competition, even though we're not sure how good they will be in a Premier League setting. But maybe just for other games or easier games that we've got available?
I don't know, Matt. I think the thing about Yarmolenko is the reason why, if it was me personally, I'd cut him off straight away, was because I think there's youth players that would do a better job than him, to be honest, mate.
Definitely.
And the fact that he's on such a ridiculous wage, for example, imagine January transfers like being linked to us, and they know that players like Yarmolenko are on 115 grand a week. They'd be like, all right, I want 150 grand a week. If Yarmolenko, that shit prick, is on 115, and it helps with the wage structure, cutting someone like that out.
Oh, massively, mate, without a doubt. I think,
which is why, for me, I'd get rid of him straight away if I could.
I mean, without a doubt. I mean, especially if you're looking at guys like Bowen. I think Bowen, they pushed him up to about 95 grand a week on his latest deal. I mean, you're right, mate. We've got to look out for the wage structure, and definitely, if we could get rid of him tomorrow, I would get rid of him in the aspect of trying to protect the wage structure, because at the end of the day, it's like, pushing the prices up for everyone, because now you're going to have Rice knocking on the door looking for another deal. You're looking at Lanzini, if he hits form, might look out for a new contract. Fornals, Ben Rama, all of these guys, and we've been down that road before with Freddie Lundberg and all those kind of other deals that we got, sent straight up shit creek without a paddle, didn't we? So I definitely will get rid of him if possible. If you put it on the table and someone said, you know what, we're going to take him for free and we'll get the wages off. But the only thing is, I have a shitty feeling that if we're going to get rid of Yarmolenko, it will be on one of those crappy half-a-year loans that would pay like 50% of wages or something like that. And that's what I would.
I think it would be. Yeah.
I think the
bang on there as well. If you're going to get rid of him, it has to be permanent.
Yeah.
Because he's early 30s now, and he needs to go. The reason why I didn't say now, obviously, because we're in dire strait, we need players. So him and Arthur would be my first ones out the door, granted, but not yet.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard the rumours were that David wanted to keep Yarmolenko because of the Europa. And
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
There. I mean, again, I don't know if it's
might as well
true
kept Evra. Might as well kept Evra, for example.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think going back to what Matt said, I think under David, we know there's not a scattergun approach. There's not going to be 6, 7, 8 coming in like with the past managers in terms of quantity over quality. It's going to be very diligent. If anything, a bit too diligent for obviously a lot of us involved. In terms of what do we need, having looked at the last game since we lost Zuma, Ogbonna, the problem is we definitely need a striker because, Antonio, 8 goals in, was it 19 Premier League games? It's kind of not there or there. It's kind of okay. But most of those goals, I think it's 1 goal in the last 10, 11, I think, something like that. Yeah. And me and Mitchell have seen when we go to the games, we're frustrated by his lack of movement, common sense, anticipation. There's none of that there. It's all one way, and sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. The centre-back problem is that we've got 4 centre-backs, so we can't go in the market. I know the Phillips guy at Liverpool looks very nice for me. Knows the league, very steady, good age, and obviously Klopp doesn't buy
50-50 on him.
Yeah, I think compared to maybe taking a risk, players from other leagues, I think he kind of okay. I mean, I don't know if he'll be a starter, even if he can't. So I think the philosophy from my end, we do need a striker the most, but we've got to outscore the teams. I think we saw at Palace, we're all over the place at the back, including, I keep saying Fabianski for me, no way. If I looked at one of the goals again, the second goal, he just stands there and he does it over and over again and gets away with it. He just does not move. And sometimes it comes straight at him and it's a good save. Free kicks, if you pick the right corner, it's going to be a goal. He's not going to move. But that's me, and I could be a bit harsh. But
I think you're being a bit harsh. I think the main problem is the defenders. Dawson's bang average, and then Diop is just a shocking player. Actually, Diop's a player. If you actually had a structure and you say, if we could actually guarantee us getting 20 million, for example, for Diop, and then we had a defender ready to come in for him straight away, or 2 defenders we would need, I'd do that. But again, it's not like Football Manager. It's not where you can just sell a player for 20 million and bring a player back in.
20 mil for Diop and a couple of centre-backs to come in.
I think we've been saying that for a while, Curtis. I don't know if anyone's going to buy him. I mean, every time we try to sell players, we don't get enough money. For me, striker, left-back, and I do want Lingard in as an attacking midfielder, but I think we've got to invest in both sides of the fullbacks. I think Crowell is an issue. Vlasic is so many issues still, but for me, striker, left back,
But that's
and someone
sort of
to.
issue that,
January, I think we've got to sort out the priorities though, and then maybe in the summer sort out players that maybe aren't quite good enough.
Exactly.
And
I
then
think
add to the squad.
Lanzini's been amazing, isn't he, since coming back?
I love that man.
Oh, that
he's
goal
like
at
the
Palace!
Lanzini of
Wow.
old. Pre-injury, he's like the Lanzini of old. And if you had said to me a couple of years ago, Lanzini out the door, I probably would have said because he just did not look the same. Now he's finding his form again, and now he looks like the Lanzini of old. I just really hope that he just puts his head down and just gets stuck right in, and hopefully he doesn't have another injury to set him back, and he can go on and do wonders, because he might be the playmaker that we need for the second half of this season that we are looking for. And then that saves getting in another body, and it saves another week's worth of negotiations with someone like Lingard or possibly someone else.
Before we move on to the rumours and different players linked, if I start off with you, Matt, what do you think about Antonio getting a new 3.5-year contract? That'll take him up to, is it 2020? Let me have a look. 2025, mate. 2025. Wow. Yeah.
I really don't agree with that at all. I think that it's...
And he'll be about 45 as well.
Yeah. I think that's us on the same level of giving Ogbonna another deal, even if he will be out for the next season. I mean, Christ, what's the need? I mean, I like Ogbonna a lot. The guy's earning millions. He's earning millions a year. You don't need to give a charity case, give him one more year of a contract. Same with Antonio. He's not at the age now. He's not in the condition now to give him a 3.5-year deal, in my opinion. Keeping him till 2025. To be honest, what do we want him until 2025 for? To be honest. Maybe if we move up to the next level as an impact sub, but
I think 2.5 years. I think it was been bang on.
Yeah, but I mean, I really would like to see the wages. I'd like to see how much that contract must be. 70, 80 grand must be, because
at least I think that's at least he's probably being repaid for his services.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like this thing of loyalty.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah, it's like I never get this idea, because it's this concept of loyalty and everything. It's an exchange of services. The club is paying something that they consider appropriate for your service. The person gives back what they think is the right amount of effort and
bang on
everything. So this idea of loyalty and everything is an old concept. I mean, maybe if you've got certain characteristics like Mark Noble and those of us that come from East London and Essex, that have this affinity to a club, that adds a different factor. But I mean, Antonio doesn't have anything towards that. And so if it was at 70 grand, that's 3.5 million a year. I mean, if you're talking about another contract here, that's gonna cost us 10, 11, 12, 30 million. I just don't think it was necessary. I think the thing about Antonio is that we've seen recently, he got dropped, he got his hunger back, and he started performing. I will keep him going with a 1-year contract extension, whatever. Keep him
rolling over every year. Keep
him rolling over and keep him hungry, because we know that the long deals, breed maybe a little bit of complacency, and we've seen that complacency with Antonio, especially over the last 10 games, scratching out the last 2 games that we played.
Mitchell, you want to add anything to that, mate?
Yeah, I think Moyes really likes Antonio anyway. I think because he's the only striker at the club. Obviously, he knew him before anyway when he previously managed West Ham, and that was a time when he was playing quite well. I just think Moyes just got his tongue round between his bunda, to be honest. Unfortunately.
You know what? I like that. I'm going to use that one.
Yeah. Well, Curtis, rumours, mate. Lingard first.
I've backed out a green book of transfers.
Look at that. Yeah. Go on, pick a few out there, mate. Go for it.
I'm going to pick out a few that I reckon that a lot of people probably wouldn't have heard of. Now, these could just be paper talk, but these are little things that I've picked up. I don't want to go for the obvious ones like Lucas Digne, Barbosa, because quite frankly, I don't think they're going to happen. I think that's just a smokescreen. I think, Barbosa is already looking like he may go somewhere else, possibly Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle are going to fucking buy everyone, aren't they? Anyone that we're after, Newcastle's coming in for. That's what it seems like.
Can't stand Newcastle.
I've got a couple of names here. I might butcher a couple of them, so I'm sorry in advance. But one that you probably would have heard of, Bamba Dieng, Marseille striker, 21-year-old Senegal international. He's had 4 goals and 1 assist in 20 games so far.
Let's have a look.
What's his stat? Sorry?
His name again, mate?
What's that, sorry?
Bamba Dieng.
Bamba Dieng, yeah. Marseille striker.
I do a
21-year-old youngster. He fits Moyes' young, fresh, hungry player sort of status that he's looking for, that he wants to build with West Ham. Senegal international. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist in 20 games so far.
Just going to show up some information about him. Let's have a look.
I have a feeling, unfortunately, guys that come out of Marseille are often quite expensive. I have a feeling we'll probably end up
Senegal. 4 caps for Senegal.
But
Okay.
I've seen him play a couple of times, and he's nifty. He's nifty, definitely.
Yeah.
A little bit I've seen.
Nifty, but maybe an addition, maybe not like a priority signing.
No, I don't mean he's gonna be one to come in and take Antonio's spot straight away and dominate the Premier League by any means. I mean, he's only 21 years old. He's still got to learn his craft, and coming to the Premier League for anyone can be daunting and hard work. So, but that's definitely one that we could be looking at, and it's an option. I mean, we are, as the days have gone past, like the last 24 hours, 48 hours. He's cropped up more and more. I've heard his name more and more. I'm seeing his name. So there must be some sort of element of truth behind
He speaks French-speaking players. There's quite a lot of them at West Ham now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he'll fit in with like the likes of Arthur Masuaku. He can speak French.
Diop, Zuma,
Mama,
Areola.
He's fast. In the couple of games I've seen him, he's fast.
Yeah, he's rapid. Yeah,
real quick.
Where was Sacco from? Sacco, striker. Which country?
Sacco.
Was he? What country was he from? Was it Senegal?
Senegal as well, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
and
same stat, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, got a bit of history there then. Interesting. Any other names, mate?
I've got a couple here. Mykola Matvienko. Don't worry, it's not Yarmolenko, and it's not his brother. Mykola Matvienko. He's a Shakhtar Donetsk centre back.
Okay.
He's you heard of him, yeah?
Yeah.
I've heard of him a little bit. Not really seen him play, but from what I'm reading and from what people are telling me, he looks half decent at least, and he could be someone that we.
I don't think he's too old either.
What's his name again, mate?
Mykola Matvienko.
Okay.
Mykola. Mykola.
Yeah. Yep. Centre back, 25. Okay, great. Good age.
That's it. He's in his
47 caps. Wow.
Yeah, I saw.
He plays with Yarmolenko for Ukraine. Yeah.
I saw
Brilliant.
There were rumours of him going to Napoli, so I think that's a good sign. That's a good, I mean, if we're being compared to the likes of Napoli, we're on that level. For me, that's a good level of comparison, to be honest.
I want to be linked to these players now. Look at fucking Villa. I've been linked with Coutinho. Like, I mean, funny. If we were linked with him, I think a month and a half ago, I saw all our fan base laughing, saying that's never going to happen and all that. But now, it looks like he could be joining Villa. Like, I don't want it to be a joke. I actually want us to be linked with these players, like the Jonathan Davids, these kind of quality players. And not just some shitty little fucking unknown player from some other league.
Yeah, the thing is, Barbosa, I had a quick look, and he ain't. The more I read, the more I found out that he's not David Moyes' type, and I don't think I want to take a risk on him. He reminded me of Philippe Anderson, moody, not sure what you're going to get with him. Brazilian league. He's flopped in Europe.
Yeah,
and
he
no
seems like he's got an attitude, doesn't he?
Yeah, no other league. Like he's 25, so none of the big boys are going to touch him. And
Well,
when
the thing
we
is, he
touch,
went to Milan, and then he went to Flamengo in Brazil, and people are saying he's absolutely donning it in Brazil. But no disrespect, but I'm sorry, the Brazilian league and Flamengo are just not up there. They're not the Premier League. They're not even the Championship.
And
So
he was expected to be the next Neymar, wasn't he? Many years ago when he first went to Milan, and that went very wrong, to be honest.
it went very south.
Yeah, it did. So yeah. I mean, Gabby Gol, as they call him here in Latin America, that's his nickname, Gabby Gol. And I was actually watching a program on him a couple of days ago, a little report on him, and they were actually commenting on how well he's done to improve his game. He's actually kind of changed his style from being like a Neymar style flair player to being actually more of a supportive player. And even he's actually been playing out on the wing a couple of times to support on the wing. And they were actually complimenting on how he's matured as a player. But still, like all you guys are saying, it's that unknown quantity. And the bet will be, I mean, you wouldn't get it for under 30 million, I'm sure. So it would be a big amount, and it could go horribly wrong.
Yeah, but he's one of those players where it wouldn't surprise me, like if he did go to the Serie A and did play very well.
He was already at Serie A. He was at Inter Milan, wasn't he?
Yeah. But I'm saying if he goes back there because that's where he's linked back to.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I mean, don't forget. Let's not write off the Brazilian league because we did get some two gems. Although a lot of people would say it was a dodgy deal, Neil Warnock and Sheffield United. But we found some absolute gems, regardless if it was a dodgy deal or not, from Corinthians, I believe, in Carlos Tevez and Javier Mascherano. So we can't write off that league. But yeah, is he going to be one of those stroppy sort of type players? Probably thinks he's better than what he is, or he got tips like a Reece Oxford earlier on in his career, where we tipped him to be the next best thing, and then it got to his head, and he sort of went really south from there, real quick.
The one thing that worries me about Barbosa, about Gabigol, is that he's not been able to concrete himself in the Brazil team, and it's a very iffy Brazil team, to be honest. In that, it's a Brazil team that's gone through a lot of turmoil over the last 3 or 4 years, with a lot of younger guys coming in, and he's just not been able to concrete himself in that team. I know it's a lot of competition, as you'd expect in any Brazil team, but I mean, if he was that good, I would have expected at his age to have a lot more caps than just 17. You know, even though he's got Gabriel Jesus and etc. Yeah, I know.
No, to be fair though, like it's hard to be spotted from that league. To be fair, like it could because it's like Bowen in Championship. If Bowen stayed in the Championship and was smashing it, the England he still wouldn't get a call up for England. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in the Premier League, he got a chance. So I kind of do understand that it's not a league where it
gets overlooked.
Yeah, but at the same time, he with the coach just right now, which is Tite, which is the coach of Brazil. He's a coach that's barely coached outside of Brazil, so he is well known for selecting national league players. I mean, you are right, mate. I agree. Whenever you're on a big stage, but I mean, if he's going to break through now with Tite, is the chance, because I mean, I'm just saying because of my closeness here to Brazil and the information we find out maybe a little bit more, and Tite is very well known to be a big fan of local players who play in the Brazilian league, and he's still not broken through. But still, for me, final point on Gabigol is too much money for a risk, and we don't have the hand to play.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee, is it? He's not Premier League proven. There's so much against him as opposed to for that transfer.
Yeah,
I mean, there's more negatives than positives, but we never know. We'll see how that one develops.
It could be.
And the position we're in right now, we should be aiming for much better, I think, in terms of not just quality, but just like safe players that are actually, in the Europa League around different clubs in Europe.
But if you're going to stick that money out, I mean, the two players that are probably in the same, three players that are probably in the same price bracket is Gabigol, Adam Hlozek, and Jonathan David, or David, or however you want to say it. I would rather Hlozek or Jonathan David any day of the week. even though they're not completely proven, but you know, they are less of a risk if you're going to be, because any of those three, you're going to be looking at 25 million, I'm sure, 30 million maybe. Maybe Klosek could be the cheapest, but I mean, that kid's only, what, 19 years old? And so I think that maybe, you know, they're going to want to, they're going to want to get the money from Czech International already. They're going to want to get some money from him.
I wanted to talk about this comment. Just want to talk about this comment quickly. We've got a lot of comments coming through now. David Moyes. I mean, again, the Barbosa situation is that there's been discussions between the various teams, our team, their team, reported back to David, and David's like, so what David says usually is just not sure. We'll see how it goes. And then as the window progresses, you kind of lose some players that perhaps you needed to get. So I don't know if anyone's worried about that kind of thing from David, where there was rumours again. He has been selected.
Dave, isn't it? Got his name from Everton. It's been well documented, and that is our downfall. If he stutters on getting his man early, we could be seeing the likes of our top targets go into somewhere like Leeds, Villa, Newcastle, or even another rival top 6 club, and we would be left stuck in the mud while everyone else is progressing and we're staying still. And then it could turn out by the end of May that we're finishing mid-table to 8th and missing out on all European football.
Yeah, I think that what this transfer window is probably the most crucial, not only due to the league, not only due to Europa, but this transfer window is absolutely essential to maintain or hold on to Declan Rice and Bowen, for example.
I don't think he'll go in January anyway.
No, but I mean,
but he's on about the summer, I think.
In the summer. I don't think he'll go in the summer.
The knock-on impact, but I mean, you can see the frustration in Rice after games. You know, when we drop those points, you could hear it in his attitude after some games where you can see he's pissed off with certain players. He's used to playing around a certain quality of player when he's in the England setup, etc. So we need really, you know, if we can show that we're willing to put money about bringing a certain quality of player, that is not only the results, but it is showing Rice that we want to grow with him. You know what I mean? You want to grow together. Yeah. And I think that's going to be the key, and say, you know what, Rice, this is a team and we're going to build you around it, mate. And we're going to bring in these players that you know you're going to have up to that level. Because if not, if we do dither here and we just stick with the same, I think that is going to give just keep that little bit of seed of doubt in Rice's mind. Because at the end of the day, we know it's inevitable. He's going to go one day. But like you say, if we can keep growing together, I think we can keep putting it off for at least another year or two. Yeah,
I was going to say we could prolong that inevitable transfer that we're all dreading. But yeah, I make you bang on, because we've struggled with that in the past, i.e. Payet. Dimitri Payet threw his toys out the pram. We was in a good position then to push on and to progress in the following season. But this was a summer transfer. We had the summer which is ideally a better transfer window. It's longer. You've got more realistic chance of getting bigger players and more players. And we failed. We epically failed on that one. And the end result was Payet going, you know what, fuck this, see you later.
That transfer window was absolutely shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah, Vlasic and Král.
And this could be the same. This could be the start of the downfall that we don't really want or don't need. So if we have a bad one here, like we've already had, in my opinion, I don't think the summer was great. I think it was sort of papered over cracks a little bit with the Vlasic and the Král last-minute signings. That they had to get them in because we was about to go mental. Because the summer transfers was just not good enough, and it still wasn't good enough. But it was okay. Let's get to January. Let's see what we can do. Let's see who we can bring in. Now we're at January. If we don't start bringing in quality and players that we desperately need to push on in the rest of the second half of the season, we could find ourselves a hostile sort of atmosphere going into the summer.
Right. What I'm going to do, I'll go through the comments for each one of you. So, Mitch, if you can perhaps give your thoughts on this question from Stephen,
Mm-hmm.
who runs a really good football nostalgia sort of Facebook group. Brilliantly, Steve's going to be helping me with a Hammer History series coming up shortly. Do you think Areola will cut it like the Johnston from West Brom?
I think Ariola's already got that quality. I think for me, he's got to be. I think this second half of the season, he's got to be edging into the first team a bit more for me. I know Fabianski's done well this season. I think he, even though I would have liked Ariola to have started the first game of the season against Newcastle, I still think Fabianski's done a decent job. To be fair, but I would like to. But look, this is about West Ham and the future of West Ham, and I think Ariola is the future goalkeeper of West Ham and could be for a long time. And I think he's got so much quality. Last couple of seasons, he's played very well. Last season, Fulham, he was exceptional. He was the player of the year. Got into the Premier League team this season as well on the bench. And look, when he's played in the cup games, he started off very shaky, but I feel like he's growing now. And the fact, I don't know what you're saying about Johnston. Yeah, I get that, but no, I don't even think that should be an option. Amjola's would be cheap anyway. I think we're talking like 9 million or something if he won't sign him permanently. For a player that is already in the team, I think I'd just rather sign Areola 100%. And I think he's much better than Johnston anyway, if I'm being honest.
Okay, and I'm not sure, Matt or Curtis, if you know of this player, Hiroki Abe. I'm going to get him up.
Heard of him?
I've heard of him. Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you his stats or where he's from or what league he plays in, but I have heard
Japanese.
Yeah, he's in
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, he's not.
God, looks very young.
Being made about him, but I don't know.
It's too young. It's too young. And he's not shown enough for us to for us to be a main signing in January.
There is one guy, Jazz, that I would recommend at left back, and it's a guy that I've watched quite a lot of, and I do like him. His name is Juan Miranda. He plays for Betis. He's a left back. He's just broken through into the Spanish team. And
how do you spell the surname?
Juan and Miranda, Mirand.
As in Miranda Hart. Yeah.
Give me the surname again, mate.
Miranda. Miranda.
I'll drink them up. That's quite nice, they are.
Spell it for me. Miranda.
Don't know. Yeah.
Anda.
Bloody hell, you lot. Oh, there's
got a spelling bee, this is.
And who does he play for?
Ain't that hard, Jazz.
I've got it. Oh, left back.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I like about him, which I'm going to be honest, is that he's quite tall for a left back. He's about 6'1", nearly 6'1.5" probably, which we know that's been a weakness with those. Pep Guardiola always does it, doesn't he? Pings balls over Creswell's head all the time, which is a nightmare for us. He's got that little bit more height for a left back, and I think he's just broken through into the Spanish squad, and I think he's very undervalued and underrated. I think he's actually quite a good player, and could be, he's young and everything. I really do like him.
I wonder if Fornals should know.
Maybe.
100%. He would have come up with him in the Spanish under 21s, I believe. He could well be. You could probably check this out, Jazz. Obviously, Fornals was a Spanish under 21 winner. Whether it's European or World Cup, I'm not sure. I think it's a European. And he could have well played with him in the Spanish under-21s and won that tournament with old Pabs.
Yeah, there's another one, Jazz. If you put in there, mate, if you want to put in, there's another guy that I like the look of. Too much watching European football.
I love Digne. I think he's good.
And pissing. Digne's great, but that would be a big amount of money. Yeah, 30 million, I'm sure that.
He's 28 as well, isn't he, Digne?
Yeah, but you get.
We're getting a bit cheaper though, because obviously Everton need to get rid of him because of what's going on with the situation.
Yeah, he's not played for 2 months, and he's had a big bust up with Rafa. If Rafa doesn't get the sack beforehand, then I think we could get Rafa might go. Do you know what? Jog on. See you later.
15 million, mate. He's top class.
Yeah, like what we did with Haller and Payet and Anderson, them sort of players. And out of which we didn't even hang around to bargain or haggle with. We just got, all right, 20 million Haller. We're taking a 25 million loss. Just get him out. That's what they might do with Dignate. Well, that's wishful thinking, I suppose. But let's hope so. Let's hope we don't go to Newcastle.
Jazz. Can you stick in the search bar? There's another guy I just want to highlight.
Yeah, give me the surname, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mandava. Mandava. Mandava.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Reynaldo. Ava. I've got an A at the end, sorry. He plays in. He's there. Yeah, Reynaldo Mandava. He's from Mozambique. He plays in Leo, I think it is right now. And he's only got 6 months left on his contract.
27.
I've seen him a couple of times. I actually like watching Lille. Is one of those teams that I like watching play. I like watching Lille and Marseille. And he's actually quite a useful player. He's not too bad, you know. He's actually quite a useful player. And I like him. I think he's quite good. Gets up and down the field. That typical African fullback, you know, that we've seen for so many years, you know. With that amazing motor, you know, going back to the old days of you know, all of those, you know, great motor and everything. So, but and then that would be an option if he's got 6 months left on his deal. I have no idea whether he's willing to sign another deal or not. But I mean, maybe a cheeky offer in there. And again, speaking French, like we've talked about, that French connection.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen him play. I'm not going to lie, a lot.
Is he quite pacey? I like fullbacks who like to attack.
He gets up and down a lot, mate. Gets up and down a lot.
I know Mitchell agree. Mitchell, we want overlapping, quick wing back type fullbacks.
We want quick, strong, powerful wing back.
That's what I liked about that Patterson transfer from Rangers to Everton. I don't know if anyone was following Patterson, the right back from Rangers.
Signed straight away, and I don't know why we're still divvying about in the business and haven't made our transfer list.
Everyone else is making signings. Newcastle's making signings. Villa are looking like they're going to make a signing. It's just embarrassing.
All the clubs in the league as well, position we're in, we should be, us and Newcastle are two teams that should be going bang. We should be in it straight away.
Yeah.
Without that.
Fucking
and
different, Dave.
You could argue United as well because they're a big club. A lot of people are going to want to play for United, regardless of the sort of situation they're in at the minute.
Yeah.
They should be able to prize players and tempt players. But
fucking love Man United in the fucking mud at the minute.
So, Dupe, what are we saying, Dupe, in the summer? Do we want to sell him or keep him quickly? Go around?
Get him out.
It's time to go.
It is time to go. I mean, you know what? I think we would get a decent money from him.
The Apprentice is starting today.
Yeah, I've heard. I want to watch the season. I've never kept the whole Apprentice up.
I can't watch it. Because that big mouth Karen Brady's on it. I have enough of her in our club.
Karen's in the comments.
I can't sit there and watch a program that she's gonna suck off the ex Tottenham chairman for however long it's on for, half hour, 45 minutes. You know what I mean? She does my head in.
I mean, I think this season for Diop is a now or never, isn't it? I mean, I can see.
Yeah.
For me, Diop, the only way that we get any money for Diop will be selling him back to the French league or Italy. That's the only way that I can see we get any money from. Maybe you could push 10, 12 million. The 20 million days for Diop are long gone, or the links with Liverpool, etc. They've long gone. And
yeah. But he's dug his own grave now.
No, and I mean, maybe you know what? We'll end up selling him if we sold him to someone, I don't know, like Milan or somewhere. They probably ended up turning him to one of the world's best defensive midfielders, knowing our luck, you know. But it's just for the Premier League, he's just showing that his position is not good enough. For other leagues, you can get away with a little bit of sloppy positioning, but in the Premier League, you can't. You cannot get away.
I could see us getting rising up to 20 mil for him from the likes of a club like I don't know, like a Burnley or Southampton.
I wouldn't mind sending to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Say Newcastle, he's a nice little French young lad for you.
Yeah, no,
We'll
but
do your
then
deal.
that,
We'll do 20 million. How about that? And they're licking their lips, going, yummy.
no, mate,
And
if
they
we're
just
selling him to
get.
Newcastle, we should do what teams do to us. We should be like, nah, you want him, we want 50 million because we know they've got the money to spend. Yeah, so it's like for the past 2 years now, we've been after a striker. Everyone knows about it, so everyone's like, "Right, you're desperate for a striker. Well, we're going to double our price." That's what teams have done to us for years, and we don't even have money. We're in poverty, apparently, according to
Actually,
Sullivan.
what about this player? Let me just get him up.
Saul Larin. No, I think he's too.
Is
I
it?
want a quicker, sharper striker. To be honest, I think
Yeah.
that's what we need.
It's another Canadian. I don't know why, to be honest.
He's like a Haller for me, like just
Yeah.
so like similar and like
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
get him out of here.
Yeah, believe me, I watch Canada quite a lot actually because they're in the same group as Mexico, United States, and the Caribbean. No, so let me tell you, from what I've seen of Larin and what I've seen of David, nothing out of this world, to be honest. You know, in international football. I mean, Jonathan David. You know, and there's the other guy from.
I like David. I do think he's a quality
I
footballer.
don't think we're
Well,
going to
you know
get
the one
someone
thing.
like him.
The
I
one
don't
thing
think we.
about David is
Huh?
incredibly fast, mate. If we could,
Yeah.
if we could play like we have been playing, getting back to our counter-attacking football with someone like David up front, Christ, that would be unstoppable. Because David is, if he came to the Premier League, I'm sure he'd be in the top 8 fastest players in the league. He is very, very fast.
Yeah, rapid,
He's very
strong, everything he's fit as. Oh yeah, love a bit of him. Love a bit of that. But I don't, he's got so many options, isn't he, on the table? I like the fact he's liking our posts at the minute on social media.
That means nothing until he's sitting there with the West Ham shirt. That means absolutely nothing because I mean Jesse Lingard's been doing that for a little while now, and it's proven nothing. It's proven nothing.
Lingard, it's weird with Lingard. Like, he likes to flirt. Like him and his agent, his brother, love to flirt around with it, don't they? Like they always put little hints that they like West Ham. And
I personally think that he would love to come back to us. Like him personally would love to. Obviously, he can't say anything. But if he's not being given a fair crack and he's shown loyalty to his boyhood club and they've sold him false promises, so he's gone, all right, let me give him one more crack. He's gone there, not been given a chance. He's going to think, you know what, like, fuck off then. So I'm done with you. And let's hope that we do wrap Lingard up. Sooner the better.
Well, what about this bloke?
I would like him.
He'd need to bulk up, mate. For me,
Who's that?
Kalasic.
Lingard. Oh, Vlasic.
I haven't seen anything of him, to be honest.
Yeah, I've not seen a lot of him. But
Stuttgart, 18 goals in 43. Yeah,
I do watch far too much European football.
The thing is, these are all like average players. I really think the position when we should be targeting players like Jonathan David. I know it's ambitious and maybe unlikely, but that's what I want to see. I don't want us to be.
What, James? How you doing, mate?
We do need those, but not just that. I think David Moyes needs to fucking fix himself up as well with the short list at the moment. That short list is an absolute mess. I haven't been sorted yet.
I would pay anything to see who we are actually really considering. You know what I mean? Who are our realistic targets? Because I mean, it's easy for us to throw around names, and the media easier to throw around names. But you know, is Moyes number one? Is he looking for that carbon copy or similar player to Antonio, or is he looking for something else? Because, for example, you know, you can look at other strikers, but the problem is, for example, like Adam Holzek, he doesn't play as a lone striker. You know what I mean? He's not that kind of player. So
he plays the wing a bit as well, doesn't he? Sometimes.
Exactly. So there we could get in a guy, you know, that's got a lot of potential. But the same will happen with Chicharito. You know, the thing is, when he played up front on his own, was useless. But when he played up front with someone, he had some support and he would get goals. So that's what we need.
But we always do that. We always kill players though, because we have like Haller and Chicharito. Chicharito, we got obviously because of his previous years of playing Premier League football and whatnot, and it was completely different to how we played him. He always played with someone with him or in a close proximity for them 1-2s, little through balls, whatever, quick little plays. The likes of Haller as well. He played in a 3 with Frankfurt. We got them, both of them, and played them up top on their own. Because we're so used to playing with Andy Carroll or with one striker, we're like, do you know what? Fuck it, we'll buy this geezer. He looks decent in a free, but we'll play him on his own. It just does not make any sense.
This bloke is. I remember
Isaac's incredible. I think he's an unbelievable player. But it's one of those ones where I don't think we'd be able to get him. But at the same time, teams like Arsenal as well. Look at the players they're targeting, top class players. But they're in like a similar position to us, really. And they don't have European football at the moment.
No,
So
but
I'd love
that
us.
would be more tempting. One, Arsenal are a massive club. Let's not deny
Of course, I get that.
Regardless of their big dip, which they've later rectified this season, and they've done remarkable well. And I thought they was unlucky against City, to be fair. But they've got that big club stature that can entice most players, really. And with not having European football, that means they can concentrate on domestic cups and the league and push for the top four, which I said for months and months. I reckon Arsenal will be in that top four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting battle.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac, he looked good, mate. But yeah, if you're going to go for it, go for it. I mean,
no, and they're going to want to sell him for big money as well.
It'll be like 60 million, I reckon, for Isaac.
Because I remember they bought him for dirt cheap from Dortmund, didn't they? I don't know how much they paid, but it was ridiculously cheap. So I mean, they're gonna want to get back. It's going to be like a Nicholas Anelka style deal, where they paid peanuts for him and they're going to flog him for an absolute fortune.
What about Martial, lads? What do you think about him?
I would take him.
But it looks like he's off to like the Serie A or French League, doesn't it?
Yeah,
he's storming with all them clubs.
Another player that we should be doing more to at least talk to.
I agree, mate.
Doing more for teams like Man United to entertain our offers, because he's a wide man. He's played central. He can finish. He's not really had his chance of the last few years, to be fair. But we know the player he can be. And
he says he wants to be a striker, mate. Sorry, he says he wants to be a striker.
And Moyes loves turning wide men into strikers. So there you go. It's written in the stars, but we will get him. No, we fucking won't. We won't get no one.
What about this Blackburn striker?
It really bugs me. It just does my head in.
Window. You like him, anyone?
Not bad. He's one season player.
Exactly.
If we could, it's one of those ones where I'd like to see him on loan, but Blackburn won't want to let him go on loan. So it's a difficult one, really. It's one of those ones where it's maybe if we got him for a good price, maybe as a squad player, and maybe see how he does, or maybe wait another season. If he smashes it again next season, then maybe have another look at him.
Yeah,
I could see the likes of Villa. Sorry, go on, Matt. Go on.
No, I was going to say he's got a funny story actually, Brereton Diaz, because he was actually born in the UK, and his mum is Chilean. His mum's from Chile, and
I saw that he's born in like Surrey.
Hello.
Oh,
I'm back. Hello.
Yeah, he was born in Slough, and I thought he was born in Chile because I know he's Chilean. And I saw Slough. I was like, what?
He was born in the UK.
Hang on a minute, Slough. You know that Southampton one, so. Bojan from Chelsea on loan. What's his name? Albanian guy. Yeah, he's from
Broja.
He was in my daughter's class. Yeah.
And the situation with him was his actual name is just Ben Brereton. That's his name. But
Ben Brereton, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is in Latin American culture, you have two last names. You have your father's last name and your mother's last name.
Yeah.
So his mother's last name is Diaz. And he actually they I don't know what happened, but they started like an internet thing here in Chile to try and get him to play and represent Chile instead of England. They succeeded, and so he actually joined up with the Chilean national team, and that's when he added the Diaz to the end of his name, so he would fit in more with the local people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I think he's about as Chilean as me or you, to be honest. But with his upbringing, but he's joined up with them, and like Mitch says, he's having a great season, but it's one season, and Blackburn are going to want a lot of money because he's.
I think
$125.
I think he'll be well expensive because the likes of Blackburn, they've just sold another player that they got noticed, they got recognition for, Adam Armstrong.
Yeah.
They've sold one of their, well, arguably the best player they had last season, attacking. Who did he go to in the end? Southampton. Yeah. And
I'd rather wait.
I don't think they're going to let another player go that's doing well. I don't think they're going to make that same mistake again, unless they get big money from the likes of Newcastle, Villa. They're the only sort of. I can't see us going out and saying, here's 40 million just to try and prize him away. I think the likes of Villa can do that, and I think Newcastle can definitely do that. But West Ham.
What about
unless you're going to be a feeder club, then there's no point because they're in automatic promotion places at the minute in the Championship. They're going to look to come back in the Premier League, so they're not going to want to get rid of arguably one of their best attacking options and then jeopardise coming up to the Premier League.
Exactly. Worth a lot more.
Yeah. And then if he does well and he comes up to the Premier League, they bolster their squad, then they sell him on.
What about Billy Gilmore? He's leaving. I think Norwich he's just not got on with the whole
Strange
team.
one that.
Yeah.
Gets injured a lot.
Yeah. Someone said I don't
know.
I like his attitude.
Yeah, he's making passes the Norwich players can't read. He's too good for them. Someone was saying on radio.
He's 2 steps ahead of everyone, and that's because the academy with Chelsea. Chelsea's academy is going to be up there. They've got the money to develop it, and plus there's going to be a lot more quality around him. So naturally, he's gonna have that advantage.
I'd like him on loan. Actually, I'd like him on loan.
He's got a hell of an engine on him.
Next to Rice, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be great.
Maybe in front of Rice. Maybe like sitting. Maybe that link-up man between a CDM and a striker.
Yeah.
I won't go as far as making him a centre attacking midfielder in the cam position, but in between that midfielder and the striker. So you could say that would
drop
be
him for Souček. Yeah.
What about? Yeah,
I'd say drop him for Souček and play Rice in that deep, just that solid deep position. Yeah. Control the game.
Yeah, we need someone a bit more.
That's a good statement. That is. I reckon if we say hypothetically,
I've had enough Souček at the minute.
Yeah, I'm not happy with him, mate.
If that happens, with Said Ben Rama in African Cup of Nations, I think that you could have Rice, then you could have Souček and Gilmore in front of Rice, with them alternating of going forward. So you've got one holding, and then you've got two in front. Then you've got three attacking players. Like you can have Bowen Fornals or Bowen Lanzini, then Antonio.
I'd say like a 4-1-4-1 with Rice.
You could do that.
4-1 and just have, like you say, one of the central midfielders drop if Rice pulls up.
Yeah,
push up.
Or if not, both of them. So you'll have defensively, we'll have the 4 and the 3, and then obviously that goes without saying. Fornals and Bowen are workhorses anyway, so they're going to be up and down getting. So it's just like having a 10-man defense, 9-man defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, before I move on to the comment from Steve, what about Ward-Prowse? Will he ever move from Southampton as a captain? Or
not such a strange one that he's never linked with other clubs, but he's a good player.
I think he's so underrated, so underrated, and the latter 3 years, he's slowly pushing himself. I mean, he's got into the England squad now.
Yeah.
I think it'd be expensive though. I do think it'd be a bit too expensive for us.
Liverpool.
I mean, Mitchell, we did hear that when they sold the Grealish Villa, they threw 30-35 at it, didn't they? Million at Southampton, I think. That was shortly after, and it was rejected, and you didn't say anything.
I think to surprising way, I think it would take about 50, maybe slightly more.
Yeah.
Ward-Prowse. Yeah, I know.
I think that's too much. I'd rather us find the next Ward-Prowse than spend that on Ward-Prowse.
I tell you, he would be brilliant with sort of obviously free kicks and corners and penalties and
Free kicks are second to
Didn't
none.
he's decent on set pieces, mate.
yeah, he is,
Corner-
mate.
free
Yeah, and a
kicks.
penalty taken in the past.
He's
for
like
both as
David
well.
Beckham 2.0 for England, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wolves
Yeah,
are-
yeah.
He's by far the best
Big
free
cement
kick
his
taker in the
place.
Premier
His free kicks are better than Beckham's. I'm not being funny. He may
Yeah.
have a bit more swaz Beckham, but his
No, but the
conversion
thing is
rate
that-
would pass.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
times have changed as well, so the techniques have now changed.
League.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, the modern game is a little, even though it's not that far or that long ago when Beckham was playing. 15 years ago, when Beckham was in his prime, maybe a bit more.
A bit more, yeah.
The time difference in styles of play, there's such a vast gap.
Yeah.
I think the football has developed a hell of a lot.
In terms
It's
of
more of a
free
system game, isn't it now?
Yeah, it's more tactical.
And in free kicks, the knuckleball style,
Yeah,
where you
they've
hit
got so many
knuckleball. Which
techniques.
Ronaldo as well. Ronaldo was just smashing them in like that, wasn't he?
Yeah, you never
Yeah.
used to see that in Beckham's day. And
No,
nowadays,
it was literally whip and dip with them.
And Ward-Prowse can do it. Ward-Prowse can do it all. I mean, I put him as number one free kick taker in the Premier League without a doubt.
I think the world at the moment.
It's like Mitchell said. When you want to hit the top four, you have to take a risk. And if the funds are 50 million, then just go for one. I think Mitchell, what you're saying, isn't it? I think
What's that? Sorry.
I'd love us to. I don't think we'd have that budget to do that though.
No, you'd have the budget, but it's up to you. Are you going to spend it on one or two, or like?
But the thing is, if 50 million's our budget, there's no point going out and spending all of our budget on one player. That could be a flop. That's just
no. I mean, Ward-Prowse, I don't think there's any risk.
Not. But even still, even with Ward-Prowse, as much as I like it, I don't think we should go out and spend our whole budget on Ward-Prowse. I mean, look in the summer, our budget was rumored to be 30-40 million, and we end up spending most of that on Vlasic. And Ward-Prowse is a lot better than Vlasic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I know, mate.
30 million, then I'd expect Ward-Prowse to be at least 60.
Wow.
I want to see more signs like Zuma, experienced players that we know are already going to be good for us. Everyone knows Zuma was going to come in and do well for us. Yeah. I want those signings. I want to see those like Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse is a bit is reaching slightly too far, but those kind of players, natural quality players, not maybe hidden gems like Vlasic is, who has still maybe got to prove himself. But I want an already proven player to come in.
Barbosa is a risk, mate, as well. Yeah, going back.
Yeah, Barbosa.
Sort of like Digne. If we got Digne, you'd know that he would come in and do a job because we know who he is. He's very familiar.
It's 28 though, isn't he? I don't want to go back.
No, you can get 3 seasons out.
Crystal's up 32.
Yeah.
But I mean, Maitland-Niles looks like he's going to. We're rumoured with Maitland-Niles. He looks like he's off to Rome.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, for me, I mean, this is why, like Mitchell said, quality players are shown they can do it. This is why I still hold out that I think we should sign Ivan Toney at some point.
Yeah.
I'd love him in the summer. If we could, if our budget was sizable and we could get him for 40 million, I'd absolutely love that.
Yeah, because I think in a Brentford team that's very, very basic. It's very, very.
We saw him live, Matt, me and Mitchell, and you can see when you're watching a game live, then I thought, wow.
He's got natural talent.
Yeah. Raw talent.
Yeah.
He's got presence on the pitch, and he's a pain. He knows he's instantly in the right places. Yeah.
He's a bastard as well. He's that sort of player.
He's a bit. Mate, I was about to say he's a bit of a cunt. I was about to say that, and I like that.
He's like that Anatovic. He's a bastard.
Cocky. He's cocky.
Yeah, and it's just. I mean, what he done to us. I mean, Jazz, you was there at that game. I was there at that game, and it wasn't good. But he knows how to. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to play the system. He gets under your skin, and that's what he done with us. West Ham on that day when they beat us.
Takes penalties. What about Matt? This player, Cabral. Brazilian. I don't know what you know about him.
Not bad.
Yeah, I would definitely take him. Without if you gave me your choice between him and Gabby Goal, I would.
I don't think it'd be too much expensive either, actually, compared to the others.
15 million euros by the looks of it.
I think maybe with the form and the fact that he's the number one player, I think we might have to pay more than that, maybe like 25. I think.
Yeah. This website's forget the prices. They're not.
It's
they're
only
not
value.
accurate.
It's only
Yeah,
market
yeah.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
just a
the
guidance.
thing-
If you're going by that, then even if it's 20 million euros, that's still
But look
what?
at Rice's.
17.
Rice is what 67, like 65 on there,
yeah,
63.
You know, that means this Cabral is going to be about 50 million then.
yeah. The only thing with Cabral is that the thing is that Basel had him on loan first for a season, and then they signed him just last season. So I mean, maybe they would be looking for a little bit more cash because they just signed him. He's not exactly new, but Cabral was even linked at Barcelona at one point before they were talking about being bankrupt, or supposedly they've just come out and said that they're not bankrupt anymore. But they with Cabral, there's a lot of talk of him emulating the style of play of Mohamed Salah, which is nothing to be embarrassed about, is it? So I mean,
So he's got a lot of pace on him, Matt. He's fast, is he? That's what we need, mate.
Cabral is in the little that I've seen Cabral. I mean, his next move, I think, will be a
I
big
think it's
one.
more of a target man striker.
Yeah, but he's fast, and he can play. He can play out wide, and he's a good goal scorer, mate. Whether you like it or not, I mean, I don't know how many goals he's got this year, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah, he's got a good record, I think.
Yeah, he's and I mean, well, if Bowen keeps playing like he is, I don't see Bowen going anywhere but Liverpool, unfortunately. Because Liverpool are one of these teams that picked up players like Salah, picked up players like Mane, picked up people like Diego Jota, or Jota, however you want to say it. And I think that they're looking at Bowen as maybe the next piece of coal that they want to turn into a next gem, because I think
they should not get him until they're ready, because he would, if they bought him, it'd just be a waste. He'd come on every now and then, come on as a sub. He's not going to replace Salah. Let's be frank. He's not going to
be another Shaqiri, wouldn't he?
He would replace Salah once he's gone to fill that void. Yeah. But he'll just be a stopgap until that moment, and I think that will ruin him. What's the point? Chelsea done it to so many players.
Oxlade-Chamberlain. He went there for it to be his next big move when he left Arsenal, thinking he was going to take the next step up, and he's just become a bit part player.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but Jota's done all right, hasn't he? Jota's done all right. Yeah.
Jota's done brilliant.
Yeah,
but Firmino, that lesbian, has been in and out of the team though for the last year. He hasn't really.
I don't know what he's doing.
Fulfilled himself.
What about this player, Jeremy?
This player makes me wet. Yeah. He's such an exciting player, honestly. I remember when he played in the Euros, I watched him and my jaw just dropped. I just thought this player is a player that we could do with.
I must have been pissed throughout the Euros because I don't remember him.
I remember him, but don't know much about him.
He came on, and he's one of the fastest players I've ever seen.
He's quite short, isn't he? That's the only thing I know. Yeah, he's 171. Yeah, I remember he was quite short, but he was. The little bit I remember of him, he looked like.
In terms of beating a man, he beats a man with ease. Like he's ridiculously quick. He's really young though. He's very young.
19. Yeah.
Yeah. He's for me. I'd absolutely love him. He's a sort of eyes on him, but he's one. If we could get him, I would. I'd have a raging boner, 100%.
And elect 4 assists, 7 assists, 10 goals. Yeah, not bad, mate. Yeah, not bad.
For his age and for the fact that he offers a lot on the ball as well. It's not just like end product, but how incredible he is going forward on the wing. Like if you watch a few clips of him, like you'll be like, oh my god, like he's top drawer.
What about Origi, our favourite subject, everyone? Anyone still interested?
It looks like he's going to Serie A now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I'd take Origi at a drop of a hat.
Yeah.
I would have, cheap. It would have been cheap as well. I still would. It'd be like 8 or 9 million. And he's one of those players, we could sign him and another striker. So, because of how cheap he is. And I'd
we can
him.
even do a loan deal for the second half of the season. If Liverpool would allow a loan or entertain and listen to offers for a loan, I think that would be a good option with an option to buy at the end of the season. So we can see how he would fit in our system first. and then go, right, do you know what?
Yeah.
You want to get rid of him. We know you want to get rid of him. Is 20 million.
You know what? Origi is the best player, the best goal scorer with back to goal in the box in the world. I think there is no player that you give the ball with back to goal on the turn.
Yeah.
How many
right
goals?
now.
Yeah, right now. You see, 90% of his goals are just a turn.
Reminds me of Drogba.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah,
But and actually an an older Lukaku, like back in maybe like his Everton days.
Yeah, he's just absolutely brilliant. That awkward ball into the feet, and just the way that he can turn with either foot and just bang it in. Clinical player, you know. So I mean, if they offered him to us, but like you say, it looks like he's preferring to go to Italy, doesn't it? So, well,
Harvey's my cousin with a comment. Harvey, I don't think you can get Phillips and Origi for 18 million, mate.
I was about to say, what sort of Karen Brady son column has he been reading?
Well, maybe
nice one.
Well, no, in all fairness, they've been talking 9 million for Origi and like I think 12 million from that Phillips now. So I mean,
I think that's I think that's just to get people enticed in him, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're going to get more than one team for each of those players that are going to be after him.
Yeah,
so you're going to
but that Phillips for me ain't a player I'd specifically like.
Another thing that's changed, everyone, is that I think we are a club that players want to come to. If we bid for a player, like they're not going to go Newcastle or one of the others, mate. You know, I think someone was. I think Dino very politely told Newcastle where to go. I could be wrong. What I heard was,
good.
Curtis, back to your book, son. What else you got there for us, mate? I know you've done a lot of research.
I was about to say,
go ahead.
If you want to look up a guy called Nicolas, I'm going to butcher his name here. He's a Bayern Munich centre back, Nicolas Sula.
Yeah, I like Sula.
Yeah. How do you spell surname?
Nicolas
S-U-L-E. No.
Yeah.
What's that?
S-U-L-E.
And it has an umlaut.
That's not bad. Only 4 letters. It's not bad.
It has an umlaut over the top of the.
Jazz thought it was going to be a 12-letter name.
He's giant as well. He's massive.
What
6'5", I think.
Which club does he play for?
Bit like me. Reminds me of me.
Bayern Munich,
centre back.
All right. If you chat amongst yourselves, and I'll get him up in a minute, mate. And Mitchell, if you can get us a cup of tea, mate.
I thought his wages are.
Cheers.
What's his wages like?
No,
his wages might be high.
Bayern.
I don't think they're major for a Bayern Munich player.
Oh, hang on a minute. He looks a beast. Whoa.
No, he's a beast.
He's an ambitious signing.
Absolute lump.
Would you?
This guy is no nonsense defending.
We spent a lot on Zoom already, haven't we?
It don't matter.
We do. Yeah, we do. We need to. Yeah, we are getting.
Some just a bit of bad ambition about you.
Yeah, I'm just going to share.
It's an ambitious one, but it will be a brilliant signing.
Well, he's looking at a door. He'd be guaranteed starter for us, I think.
Yeah.
I think he could come in. If we got him in this window, I think he could come in easily.
I think that market value we could get him for less.
Is he not regular then, Curtis? Is he not a regular buying? They would be willing to do business, you think?
I think that if you give them a good enough offer, they would entertain it.
That's a great age, mate. Same as Zuma, 26, 37 caps for Germany. You know, that's kind of shows what he's about. That's interesting.
But his contract's coming up. That's why they're talking about him.
Oh wow!
I've got another one for you.
And just here, the first thing I just stuck it in Google. The first thing it says here is that he doesn't feel appreciated by the club, and he's not willing to sign a new contract.
There you go. If he pushes his way out the door, you could find that he could be a player that we could get on the cheap. Or I don't
want to say it, but this is a kind of player that
we need.
Sniffing at, I think. Yeah.
Let's go for it then. Let's just go for it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with talking with players at the very least.
Actually, no, they got that Romero or someone, haven't they? They're already
Romano, Fabrizio Romano. Yeah, he's a journalist, isn't he?
Right, give me that surname again, Curtis. Let me punch it in.
What's that? Sorry.
What's the next one you got there? Let me punch that one in. And any more?
Senesi. If anyone's heard of him.
Give me the name of the team. It's easy for me.
Do you know what? I can't even remember. He's an Argentine international, if I remember correctly. Who's he played for? Senesi. S-E-N-E-S.
Hang on. Slowly. S.
S-E-N.
Yep.
E-S-I, I believe.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he's in Holland, isn't he? Feyenoord.
Yeah,
Well
Feyenoord.
done. Got him on.
He's an Argentine international.
Excellent.
I've seen him about.
24. Okay.
You know who they compare him a lot to? They talk about him here. They compare him a lot to Pochettino when Pochettino was a centre back.
Oh God, do they? Pochi's coming to Old Trafford in the summer. Pochi.
Yeah, but as they call him, this guy Senesi, they call him El Gladiador, the gladiator.
Yeah, a gladiator. Yeah, he's a fucking beast.
Hang on a minute.
From what they're saying.
8 goals, 7 assists in 94 games. That's not bad.
That's really good.
Here they compare him to Pochettino because whether we like Pochettino or not, as a centre back, he was a hard ass to play against. You know what I mean? He was a real nasty piece of work as a centre back, but could play football as well.
Curtis, how did you come up with this list, by the way, out of interest?
Don't you worry about that, Jazz, me old friends. Don't you worry about that, mate.
Well, I'm very impressed with all three of you together.
I'm trying to keep my place on this little series, you know.
Listen, you'll be leading it, mate. Forget being in it. That's brilliant. That's really good, really good. So
I've got Have I got any more on this list? I've got one
no.
more.
What we'll do another show in a couple of days, mate.
Yeah. I've got loads that I haven't wrote down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that. What I'm going to do quickly, going to be 1 hour 20, so I don't want to take up any more time of your valuable day. If we quickly just go around with final thoughts, who do you want, what's going to happen, that kind of thing. Starting with Mitchell, mate. What are you hoping for, mate, this month?
I'm not hoping for too much. I'm trying to be realistic with like a budget and like knowing it's January. I would like personally us to push on. Ginter's a good one actually. James just put in the chat. I'd like us to get 3 signings. Really, I think 3 signings is about right.
Where's Ginter from? Where's he from?
Matthias Ginter.
He's a Mönchengladbach.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thanks, James.
He's another international. He's good.
Yeah, Matthias Ginter is a real good one as well.
Yeah. I'd like us to sign a striker. I think at a minimum, I'd like a striker, a centre half, and a left back. For me personally.
Yes. Same as me, mate. Over to any of you two, Matt or Curtis. Take it away.
Matt, you go first.
Thanks, mate. When it comes to left back and centre back, I think if I had to divide it up, I think I'd say the same. 3 players is the ideal. 2 would be satisfactory, a minimum. I would look maybe for the defenders picking up one of these guys that's got 6 months left on his contract, out of contract in June, so you could maybe get a bit of a cheaper deal when it comes to a transfer fee, and make it up with the wages. But when it comes to a striker, I think that's where we need to put the money where the mouth is, like we've talked about so much time. And if it's not in January, if it's not making a gamble on one of these guys like Jonathan David or Adam Holzek, it's got to be in the summer with Tony and lump it on Tony. But at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, we need that other striker in now. And I mean, if we're not going to put in 20-25 million for a decent striker, it's just not worth picking anyone else up, because otherwise we're going to go back to the old days of picking up like what's his name, Wellington, what his name was, and all those cheap free idiots like Benny McCarthy,
Borriello and Caleri and
no, we're West Ham now. We're in the London
City. The rumours are Sullivan is getting excited about Barbosa. I can believe that. I think Sullivan's behind it.
Sullivan gets excited about any 40 plus, any sort of free agent 40 plus. He's sitting there rubbing his hands, licking his lips.
Yeah. So I mean, I would rather that we picked up free agents at the back, because I think often you can probably pick up maybe a better deal there and lump the money on the striker, but not blow the bank, because like we've seen with Vlasic, even though I don't want to criticise him too much, he didn't have the initial impact. And this is the key thing. We spent a lot of money on Vlasic, and it looks like he's one for the future, not for an initial impact. What we need to do is put money on someone for an initial hit the ground running. Because if we stick 30 million and have another Vlasic style player that's going to come good in 6 months, no point doing it, to be honest. So, I mean, we need to get that guy that's going to come into the team, or at least be hot on the arse of Antonio breaking into the team immediately and really give us maybe that plan B that we talk about, that we need so much when we know that Antonio's not in form, because at the end of the day, we don't have the players really to be able to play an effective false nine against all the teams in the Premier League, maybe against a lower team, kind of, but I mean, we need that plan B up front, so let's stick the money out there. Get 20.
I want Antonio to be the plan B. That's what I want for the future.
Mate. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's a great idea, mate. Yeah.
I mean, you can argue if we get short at any time, he can always play out wide again.
Yeah.
Because at the minute he's occupying them wide positions anyway.
Well, we're going to need maybe he can clean boots and stuff, because with his new deal, he's going to be hanging around till there's not even bits of him left. To be honest.
Oh, to be fair, the way he's playing at the minute, he's better off just being on the doors at like the London Stadium or something. Because
how old is he going to be? 3.5 years.
Mate, he's got the building.
Like
So
35? He'll be like 35, won't he? After a 3.5 year deal.
I think he's 31 at the minute, isn't he?
Christ.
Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's a strange one. Like, why would you do it? I mean, he's not like Ronaldo, who's 36 and like a complete fucking machine. He's an athlete, and I reckon Ronaldo's probably still got another couple of years in him as well.
Yeah, because
probably not maybe in the Premier League, but he's still definitely got another good couple of years somewhere.
Well, Mitch, maybe he's going to be instead of Plan B, next year will be Plan B, and by the time his contract ends, he'll probably end up Plan D or F or G or H, to be honest, because we're going to be paying them.
And then probably by the age of 40, he'd just be like security for London Stadium.
I'll tell you what,
it'd be like a personal bodyguard for someone like Declan Rice.
Look, you know, we're going through all the players, and obviously it's funny because I just imagine he didn't sign for us and he's looking at him. His stats ain't bad. He's only 24, Vlasic, 27 million value, 7 goals in 33 caps for Croatia. Nothing to be frowned on about. And
Jazz, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt in the same way that we gave Bowie.
Yeah, I think the thing about him though was the price we paid for him and the fact that our budget was so low and we spunked it all on him. I think that's the main thing.
Exactly.
33
If we
goals
picked
in
him up for like
108.
12 million or 15 million, no one would really care. He'd say he's a decent player, could make his way into the squad.
21 assists, 33
No,
goals.
Mitch as well. People were expecting a player like Lingard that added value immediately to the team, and especially as we know what Lingard came in and did. He was key to the transition between defense to attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what Lingard was so crucial for us in the team, that he just added that quality in the transition that we've just lacked a little bit this year. You know,
he had bollocks about him, Lingard. That's what I loved. He just had bollocks, and I think that's what we could do with more. I think we could do with some more direct players, like that Doku that I was talking about earlier. I think we could really do with some more direct players in the team.
Lingard, like you said, he always asked for the ball, ran into space, confident, and they couldn't keep up with him at one stage. It was amazing, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Curtis, so what do we need, mate? Who do you want? What do you think? I can't think of any players' names, Curtis. I can't. I mean, I know I definitely want a striker, left back, and I'm not sure if I do want an attacking mid.
I don't think we would get him. I mean, it's looking more and more evident that we won't get him. But I do love Vlahovic from Fiorentina. He's played 40 games.
Oh yeah,
scored 21 goals and got 3 assists. Now, Arsenal, if this rumor is true, they've bid Lucas Torreira to go to Fiorentina. Forgot about him. So they've offered Lucas Torreira to Fiorentina plus something like 48, 53 in that sort of range, £1 million. Now that's a big offer. If that's true, I don't know why Fiorentina aren't taking that offer.
Well, you know who they sent it back, isn't it? We were chasing more sons, weren't we?
Blinkovic.
I don't think Lucas Torreira is that bad. And especially
Milinkovic having a good season as well, apparently.
Who?
Milinkovic, the centre half, he's playing well.
Yeah, but that's another player that we keep getting rumoured to interested in, and I just don't see it. I think you get them. You always get that big group of players that's always touted like a smokescreen during transfer season. We had it in the summer.
Backup's the main one every year.
He's one of those. A journalist is sitting indoors, bored, thinking, "How the fuck can I make some money? Let's make it."
Good Johnson was another one, wasn't it? Good Johnson. Ida Good Johnson. Oh my god. Link with him at Chelsea. all the time.
I feel a bit too old for that. I'm too young. I don't remember that.
Either good
It
job.
looks
Yeah,
like
Chelsea
it looks like
Arsenal.
Insigne's going. Would I want him? Probably not. But he's a well-known player.
Oh, is that
He's
sorry?
not Lorenzo Insigne.
Yeah.
I'd love
In
him,
Napoli,
but he's
Italian, done well in the Euros. He's like a target man as well. He play out wide. He can play central as well. He would have been a good option, but that's definitely not going to happen. He looks like he's going to go to the MLS. If I'm honest.
No,
yeah, him and Belotti look like they're going to MLS, don't they? Unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah, I
flipping hell,
think
Belotti was
they're
a
looking
free
for
as
a
well.
payday, aren't they? So they're going to go to the MLS, I think.
Insigne went to Toronto.
Toronto, that's it. Yeah. I don't blame him. If
Last big
he
payday.
wants, he's what 30, 31, something like that. He's
Yeah.
probably not going to be
30.
that sort of type of player where he's going to last to his mid-30s anyway. So he's probably just going to see out the rest of his career
Exactly.
in a
Last
nice
big
little earner for him and his family. Good luck to him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't think he's someone that we need either. I don't think he's a Moyes type player, this Moyes type player that people keep going on about. I don't think he's that. And I don't think he's a player that would suit West Ham, to be fair. And I don't think that's a player that we should go after. It was nice hearing of someone well known like Insigne, but I just didn't see any truth. I couldn't see anything with it, if I'm honest.
I think we all know what David Moyes type of player is. I think so. We kind of know Barbosa. I can't see it, mate. No way.
No, do you know another player? I'll probably get slated for saying this, but we've always said for the last few years, we need another Antonio. We need another Mikel. We need another player just like him to go like literally like for like. That's what people have been calling for, right or wrong. What better 2.0 is Adama Traore? He's a beast. He's fucking built like a brick shit ass. He's rapid and he can't finish. He's got no end product. He is Mikel Antonio all over. You can't.
But you say that, I don't know. I think he's
Antonio
very different. I think he looks like Antonio, but I still feel he's very different. Like Antonio's lost a lot of his pace, and Adama Traore, like pace wise, like I think Adama Traore is a good player to have, even just in and around the squad. Like I think he's maybe not a guaranteed starter.
The player that's like for like is Tony. That's the only guy that's like for Antonio. The closest person to cloning Antonio is even Tony. And I
don't think there's anyone like Antonio, to be honest.
No, but the closest.
No, there's similarities with other players, granted, but like everyone's their own.
I can't remember.
He's got a touch of a paedophile, Antonio.
I'm trying to remember how Drogba was. Drogba was quite good. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Adama Traore, plus he's a wide man, can be converted into a striker. Again, Moyes' speciality, loves converting wide men into strikers. He could be that sort of mould, if you like, that Moyes can play about with, and he could come good for us in that sort of sense. He's done it with Arnautovic. He's done it with Mikel Antonio. If we got someone like Adama Traore, he could
I think it'd be a risky signing, but I'd like that. He's a risky signing. I'd be willing to go for.
For maximum 20 million, I'd take a punt on that.
That's what they're saying, aren't they? Like 20 million. Yeah. I reckon if we offered like 17 million, that could get it.
I reckon if you offered 17 million over 10-year monthly instalments like David Sullivan's gonna, with like, you know what I mean, increasing to 17.5 million, that's a David Sullivan offer right there, isn't it? But I think it'd be decent. I think we could get a tune out of him. He's been out of favour with Wolves, probably because he wasn't the player that we first knew him to be in his first season with Wolves when they come up to the Premier League. But I think there's still something there. And I think that with the right coaching and the right man management and the man-to-man coaching, like strikers coach, I reckon we could get him firing, or any sort of team could get him firing. And like I say, he's strong, he's quick. He'll get down them wings. He could beat probably most fullbacks in the Premier League.
I've always liked him.
He's sort of my
just dangerous. Like defense are scared of him. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And the defences are sometimes too scared to press too high because they know
Yeah.
that he can hit you on the
Just
counter.
spin. Yeah. And I love the way that he just slips himself in baby oil, and he's like, you ever watch Family Guy? You know, like the Grease Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He runs around, no one can catch him. That's what he reminds me of. So
I've heard he
it's
pays
just
his
a little
personal
tactic.
trainer 20 grand a month.
Oh my
I've heard.
days!
And
Oh my god!
how much does he pay him to put the lotion on him?
Yeah, 11 grand.
Right, shall we call it a day, lads? Shall we?
Oh,
What-
one last thing. My first ever fan cam was almost 4 years ago now, and I said we need wingers in that, and that was the whole thing about that fan cam. And I said Adama Traore from Middlesbrough is one I'd love us to sign.
Oh right! Wow.
Yeah. And 4 years on, there's me sitting again. I still want Adama Traore.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
you take
I'd
him
do.
now though? Now, 4 years after that comment, that statement you made, would you still take him 4 years later?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
He's been very quiet though. No goals, no assists, nothing.
But that's because he's had very minimal time.
So and this is the thing.
he's got
Everyone
a
says like he's like great. Not last season because last season wasn't great as well. Season
He
before
was
that, he
unreal.
got into like he was brilliant. He had like 18 goal contributions in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And
He was
considering the fact that that's not his main job. His main job is actually to beat a man and progress the ball forward. That's a bonus.
Yeah, Tottenham
And
been after it for a
don't
long
forget,
time.
Wolves are playing a different game now.
Yeah.
When it was new, he was playing under Espirito Santo, wasn't he? And now with a new manager, it's not the same team, it's not the same setup, and he comes across as a player like Antonio, a player based a lot of his ability or his success is based on confidence. And of course, he's not going to be confident if he's not playing, he's not getting in the team as a starter as much as you'd like. And of course, you know, we know the importance, like you say, of contributions, whether it's by goals or assists. So, I mean, I feel like, you know, if he were to come to us, then maybe, you know, he could.
I think you would be, yeah. And I think you're bang on there, Matt. With Nuno Espirito is completely different. His tactical setting is different. His lineups and his strategy, his forward thinking is just different to how do you pronounce his name? Large. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Who's that?
So Large.
What was that? Sorry.
The new Wolves manager. I don't know how to pronounce it. I can't remember.
Yeah, fuck that off. Forget about that.
Large.
Forget
Just call
about
him John Smith. That'll do. That's fine.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think with the players that he had around him back then, obviously pre-Jimenez, big injury, the likes of before Doherty went to Tottenham, before Jota left, they had a very good setup. And it worked very well. Like you've got Ruben Neves who's still there, Martinho. You had all them sort of players, and somehow it worked. It was like Portugal's national team in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's like when Arsenal was FC France in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? There was that stability around him, and everyone had a chemistry. It's like when you play FIFA. If you get an English player and an English player in front of each other, you'll get that green line. Or if you get a West Ham and a West Ham connection, you get that green line. It's all about the chemistry, and I think it worked well. But now that is gone because i.e. that they've sold a couple of their players. They had a massive injury to one of their star men, and the change of manager.
Yeah, and they're lucky to keep hold of Neves. To be honest, I'd take Neves.
And Moutinho. I rate Moutinho as well.
Yeah,
He's just really old. He's really
Yeah.
old, though.
Neves, because he's young. I'd take Neves if
It'd be expensive. I think it'd be 60 million, same as Will Prowse, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's
Ruben Neves. How anyone that hasn't snapped him up is beyond me.
Brilliant.
I know.
Brilliant.
I thought he scored a worldie the other night against United.
Yeah, he done really well. He's done really well in that game. Yeah. All right. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. We're going to be doing this show, especially during this month, every couple of days. So what we're probably going to do is me and Curtis will be back, and then we'll be switching 2 new people, and you guys will be back in probably early next week. And by then, let's see if we've got any players. I doubt it, but certainly
definitely not.
Certainly more.
It's like your Europa League. You have to sort of
one thing.
stop and change the personnel.
So I saw on the don't know if I should be saying this anyway, but fuck it. On the Patreon I saw this morning, I saw that the most advanced players we're looking at now, like the movements. If there's any movement in the transfer, apparently the main two are Phillips and Tarkovsky. Apparently, we're looking at a centre back first in this window.
This is what gets me.
Listen, that Palace game. Oh
priorities
my
and we
God.
want, regardless, yeah, we are in desperate need of another centre back, someone that can come straight in. That's a first team starter, someone that can be a first name on the team sheet. But you've got to get your priorities straight, Moisey. What are you doing, mate? We've needed a striker for years. What are you playing at?
Silly, innit,
He's
mate?
smoking something, isn't he?
Yeah. But anyway, we'll catch up with everyone. Really good comments. I couldn't even keep up with them, so apologies for everyone, but I think we got through a lot of them. So much information, details that we've gone through, really. So I want to thank each one of you. Some of you will have your stomachs rumbling, get your tea in or whatever. So thanks again, Matt, from all that way. And I know in the middle of your work, mate, really appreciate it, really. And Curtis,
I'm not that important, mate, so don't worry. No one knows I'm gone.
Give it a couple of years, you'll be head of year, Matt.
Yeah.
My position's that high that I don't actually do any work, and
Brilliant.
Typical senior management of education, eh?
It's called delegation. He's going to delegate.
You must not have any detention kids today.
Yeah, I get to make decisions that influence everyone despite not knowing anything. So
brilliant. And Curtis, thank you. And your encyclopedia, please bring it to the next show. We'll look forward to looking at that. Mitch, always a joy to have you in here with your funny comments and one-liners, mate. So keep that one up, mate.
Naughty.
Yeah, we'll catch you up in one of the next home games,
mate. You had me in stitches.
Great. Thanks a lot, lads.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Cheers, boys. See you later.